Hello, everybody. My name is Charlie Cruz, and I'm in a group with Landon and Houston, and we wrote a short story inspired by The Matrix, and it's called A Wakeful Dream. The rain made the whole city look like a reflection of itself. Neon signs stretched across the pavement like long ribbons of light, bending and blurring until they resembled the steaming code that Anakin had begun to see behind everything. Some nights the world looked solid, other nights it flickered like a thin veil over something deeper. Tonight, Anakin stood on a rooftop, trying to understand which version of reality he wanted to trust. Charlie and Luke approached behind him, their steps barely audible beneath the hum of rain. Anakin didn't turn. He was watching his reflection ripple in a puddle, his face, the flickering lights, and the faintest whisper of glowing symbols he couldn't unsee. "You still see both worlds," Luke said, voice calm as ever. Anakin nodded. "I can't tell which one actually matters." Charlie stepped beside him. "You don't have to trust either. You just need to act." Anakin exhaled. "But what if every action is just programmed? What if I'm not following a script I can't read?" Before Charlie could respond, the air at the far side of the roof shifted. A figure stepped from the shadows, a being that looked almost human, but not quite. Its eyes held a steady glow as if entire lines of data were scrolling inside them. "Script," the figure said, its voice smooth as static. "Interesting word for it." Charlie tensed. "Identify yourself." "I am the curator," the figure replied, "a program designed not to fight you, but to observe you. I'm curious about your belief in something humans call choice." Luke positioned himself protectively beside Anakin. "Choice is what separates us from the system." The curator smiled slightly, then let us test that. It snapped its fingers. Reality fractured. Anakin gasped. The rooftop split into dozens of possible versions of itself. He saw himself many selves take a different path. One version stepping off the ledge and plummeting, another walking away with Charlie, another sitting until morning, another disconnecting quietly from simulation. Each ghostly version flickered like overlapping film reels. Charlie reached for Anakin, but her hand passed through one of its duplicates, which dissolved into rain. Anakin staggered. "What am I looking at?" "Prediction," the curator replied. "These are paths your mind are capable of choosing based on your habits, your history, and your tendencies. You think of these as choices, I see them as probability." With a soft pulse of light, the vision collapsed, leaving behind a single trembling Anakin. Luke frowned. "The prediction is not destiny." And notably, the curator said, "It's not freedom." Anakin looked down at his hands that had bent rules of this world, hands that have done impossible things. If these hands were only following hidden instructions, what did freedom even mean? But surrendering to determination felt like another cage. "Maybe freedom isn't about knowing the truth," Anakin said quietly. "Maybe it's taking responsibility anyway. If I act, I own the outcome, and if I don't, the system owns me." The curator tilted his head, a beautifully inefficient concept. Anakin stepped back from the ledge. Slowly, he walked towards a rusted maintenance hatch at the end of the rooftop. He pulled it open. Instead of machinery, a column of light, humming data pulsed behind it. Charlie blinked. "Of all the options, you choose that one?" "Not dramatic," Anakin said, "just necessary. You can predict me, fine. Then let my decision be part of your prediction. I'll change again. And again. I won't stop." The curator's eyes brightened with interest, not anger. "We will see," it murmured, before dissolving into static and vanishing into darkness. Anakin lowered himself into the hatch, surrounded by pulsing. Charlie and Luke stood behind him, not as guides, but as witnesses. He descended. Anakin stood into the endless white room, breathing slowly, trying to steady the room inside him. The curator stepped forward, its form flickering like broken holograms, trying to become human. "Anakin," it said, its voice echoing from every direction at once, "your path has brought you here. You've seen how this world has shaped, and how much of your destiny was never truly yours." A metallic table materialized between them, glowing faintly. On it lay two pills, one green, soft and calm, one orange, sharp and burning like a warming light. The curator extended a hand towards them. "Now come your final destination," it said. Will you choose the green pill and stay in the simulation, living a normal, peaceful life? On the other hand, the second pill. Would you choose the orange pill to return to the war-scarred world outside, where struggle and painful truth are all that is guaranteed? The space around him went silent, like the whole simulation was holding its breath. The curator leaned closer. This choice is yours, Anakin.
This is our philosophical explanation on our short story. This short story uses 5 philosophical ideas: the Matrix, the brain vat, Descartes' Meditations 1 and 2, the messages from the short story They, and free will. The Matrix is used in the short story for the setting, a fake world that the character Anakin was choosing to escape from. And similar to Neon from the Matrix, Anakin at the beginning of the story starts to notice the fake reality he is in. Another similarity between this short story and the Matrix are the pills that are offered. Whichever you decide will be your fate. The brain vat is related to the story because there is a creator of both worlds. However, they differ because the curator in our story is not doing this for an evil reason, like the evil scientist is. He is doing this because he wants to protect people from the evil of the world and give them a safe reality to live in. In Descartes' Meditations 1 and 2, this relates to our story because Anakin starts to question what is real and what isn't, or if even he is real. This is shown when Anakin says, "But what if every action is just programmed? What if I am following a script I cannot read?" These are the same questions that Descartes asked himself in Meditations 1 and 2. The short story They is about a person who realizes he is being controlled and he is the only person that is real. This is very similar to the Truman Show. This is very similar to our short story because Anakin also realizes he is being controlled. Lastly, free will is the idea that you have the power over the choices you make and you can control the outcome. This is shown in our story multiple times. The first time is when Anakin decides to question his reality, hoping to find the truth of the reality that he lives in. The other instance is when Anakin is brought to the choice of either taking the green or the orange pill. And even though both pills have downsides, he still has the power of making his own decision.